Assalamu alaikum and welcome to day 15 of our How to Read Quran series, a program on the Quranology Institute's YouTube channel. Today we will be talking about deepening your Quranic understanding. So the point here is to open up Quran, as Quran puts it. We'll see this in a minute. And as usual, Quran does not just expect you to fall into it without some kind of process. There is a process involved, and that process is found in chapter 25, Al-Furqan, verses 30 to 35. Let's begin with verse 30. Verse 30 is a very famous verse. Quranists quote this verse to traditionalists a lot to tell them that actually, Quran has been abandoned. Now I'll quote the verse for you. وَقَالَ الرَّسُولُ, and the messenger said, Ya Rabbi, O my Lord, inna qawmi attakhadhu hadha al-Qur'ana mahjura. Verily my people. So the people who stand with the messenger, his people, that would be the Muslims, they have taken this Quran. And when you say hadha al-Quran, it's referring to the entirety of the text. Hadha al-Quran, demonstrative pronoun. They have taken it as something to be abandoned. They have emigrated away from it. But if you look in the world, Muslims, they are holding the Quran. But here's the thing. Are they holding to the text? Or are they holding to the text and its values? I think they're just holding to the text. They're reciting it. Take for example, they recite La ikraha fid din. There is no compulsion in the deen, and yet in many Muslim societies there is the issue of apostasy. That's not holding to the teachings, that's just holding to the text. So this is the correct prediction of Quran. But let's not belabor this point. I mean, the point now is we have the entire text of Quran being mentioned, and Muslims have moved away from it. We will see why in a minute. وَكَذَّلِكَ جَعَلْنَا لِكُلِّ نَبِيٍّ عَدُوًّا. And like that, like abandoning the text, we have placed for every prophet enemies. Why? Because they do not follow his teachings. مِنَ الْمُجْرِمِينَ, from the criminals. Observe Muslim societies. Crime is almost a way of life there. Corruption, gangs, oppression, etc. These are crimes. And because they have abandoned the Quran, they have crimes. وَكَفَى بِرَبِّكَ هَدِيًّا وَنَصِيرًا. And your Lord is sufficient as a guide and a helper. You see, so Allah is inviting you to go back to the text so that He can become your nourisher and sustainer, your Lord or your Rabb. This is what Quran is for. But here's the thing, there are people who reject this. And it continues in verse 32. وَقَالَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا. Those who rejected this notion, they say, لَوْلَا نُزِّلَ عَلَيْهِ هَذَا الْقُرْآنُ جُمْلَةً وَاحِدَةً. Why is Quran not revealed on him as a whole? Now, earlier we already spoke about Hadha al-Quran, this Quran. So what are these guys speaking about? Why don't they say, why are they saying it's not been revealed? Because it's speaking about the meaning. So the Prophet and the text are not the same thing. The Prophet had to actually seek knowledge in order to understand the text. Please see chapter 20, verse 114. He was actually told to say, my Lord, increase me in knowledge. Rabbi zidni ilma. You see? So those who rejected this notion, the criminals, they want the Quran to be revealed all at once. I mean, that's just the excuse, really. So Allah answers them. Allah says, كَذَّلِكَ لِنُثَبِّتَ بِهِ فُؤَادَكَ. And like that gradual revelation, we will strengthen your mind with it. So when you read Quran and you slowly get to grips with it, it will strengthen your conception of the world. And that's why it's revealed slowly to you over the course of time. وَرَتَّلْنَهُ تَرْتِيلًا. And we arranged it, we arranged the Quran. Allah arranged the Quran. Tartila, with a meticulous arrangement. So in order for us to understand Quran at a deep level, number one, we need to really focus on the arrangement. The arrangement of Quran. And I've demonstrated it with chapter 91 previously, but hopefully I will demonstrate it with other chapters as well. But the arrangement is the key tool, and Allah Himself mentions it. Verse 33, and this is another famous verse. It says, وَلَا يَأْتُونَكَ بِمَثَلٍ. And they do not bring you a mathal. What is a mathal? Now, the word tamathil in the Quran means statue. Now, what is a statue? A statue is a replica of the reality. Let's say you had the statue of Saddam Hussein, which fell in Baghdad in 2003. That is a replica of the real Saddam Hussein. A tamathil, if you like. So, a mathal is something which replicates reality. It's almost like an analogy, if you will, or a metaphor. And human beings have been doing this about the world since time immemorial. I mean, let's say you look at the Marxists. The Marxists have a detailed analogy or a metaphor of how the world works. It's basically dialectical materialism. How our economic needs changes our motivations and thus creates a different polity. So that is how Marxists look at it. How does the Quran look at it? So Allah says, وَلَا يَأْتُونَكَ بِمَثَلٍ إِلَّا جِئْنَكَ بِالْحَقِّ. Except that we will bring to you the truth. وَأَحْسَنَ, and something more beautiful. تَفْسِيرًا, as something which opens it up. So Allah is not saying, don't read anything else. He's saying, read it, but our promise is we will bring you something better. Now that is up to you. I'm not saying, you have to believe in this blindly. You have to see it demonstrated to you. So if you look at various amthal, various metaphors of the world, then take it back to Quran, that will deepen your Quranic understanding. So never close your mind to anything. Read everything you can. And then it says about those who will be gathered on their faces. Faces is your expression. So how you're running things, basically. And towards a state of brokenness, Jahannam. And it is a bad place, and it will take you away from the path. Now, what is the path? If you look at the entire Quranic text, Sabilillah, the path of God, is the path towards Masjid al-Haram, the place of sanctification. Is a place which all human beings seek. They want to seek this place which is safe, so that they are free from harm. So Allah is saying that is the ultimate goal of the Quran. So how you do that? You must deepen your Quranic understanding. Now, and this is how Quran actually astounds me a lot. How it shows me that it doesn't forget what the readers are thinking. So the readers are thinking, how does that happen? And then Allah mentions Moses, Musa. Allah says, وَلَقَدْ آتَيْنَا مُوسَى الْكِتَابِ. Verily we gave Musa the system, or the writ. وَجَعَلْنَا مَعَهُ أَخَاهُ هَارُونَ. And we placed with him his brother Harun. I've made a video on the role of Harun. Harun is essentially the administration of the Musa system. Was zero as a minister. Minister. You get the point. So if you look at the story of Musa, you will see a practical demonstration of this gradual descent of the message. And actually the story of Musa is actually very tied to the story of Quran itself. The thing is, I can't do it in this video, but I will be doing it in a future video in the series, inshallah. So that is essentially how you deepen your understanding of Quran. You must apply the message and you must compare it with various metaphors or various analogies of the world. So many thanks for viewing this video, and I hope to see you again for day 16 tomorrow, inshallah.